yeah, thinking critical, like, you're pretty much lying about comic books just for views at this point. That's the only conclusion I can come to looking at that video. Hey guys, if you're watching this right now, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for new notifications. Thank you. Hey, you might notice there's no chat. I'm actually recording this offline. I'm doing a little bit of research, but I need to do it before I do a proper stream, so I figure I'll go ahead and record this, and I'll probably release it later. But anyways, I wanted to go into Thinking Critical, because Thinking Critical seems to be this comic book guy who gets mentioned a lot. I know Dane's covered him, and I think he brought him up on Fandom Initiative, so I've kind of covered him, but I didn't really know much about him. I hadn't seen him before. His takes were quite bad. But anyways, I had just covered, at least from my perspective, this video just released. The video covering this comic book. I loved it. I thought it was a great comic book. The secondary story wasn't as good, but I will say upon reading issue 3, it fleshes out the main story well. And then the story setting up the Trinity story it does a good job setting it up. So I know more about that story now. So overall, and then we'll get to my thoughts on issue 3. I'm not sure how this is going to sync up in the timeline, so I'm recording this separately. But anyways, we're doing some independent research. And, I love this comic book. I thought it was fantastic. But apparently, a channel called Thinking Critical didn't think so. They thought it was quite bad. And so I brought up their channel, and then, here, real quick. Wes is a Christian husband, father, and comic industry YouTuber. He has commanded satellites, worked inside a mountain, and served in the Afghan War. He has journeyed the globe from Alaska to England in the Republic of Korea. Wes is a proud expat, I assume that means expatriate, living with his best friend and wife and their 3 exceptional sons. Okay, I appreciate the love for his kids. The expatriate, you could just say veteran. I don't know. Seems weird. But anyways, covering, why is one woman trying to kill a Make-A-Wish kid? Now, if you remember when I covered this book, essentially this book is about, people trying to, destroy one woman's life while she is out helping out this Make-A-Wish kid. And apparently he read it as if she's trying to kill him. So I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and cover this. And then we'll probably go ahead and follow this up and cover some more Thinking Critical on live stream on Thursday. So yeah, I'll probably release this independently as a video on Thursday. And then we'll cover more of this guy on Thursday, because I just read Ultimate Spider-Man #1, and he covers Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I saw it over here. Ultimate Spider-Man Returns to Save Marvel Comics. Interesting picture he chooses for the cover, because that's not the cover I have at all. Of course, there are a couple variants, so maybe that's just a different cover. Anyways, so we'll probably cover that one on Thursday. From your perspective, we will be covering that in a couple hours live. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what his issue is with One Woman and the Make-A-Wish kid, because I thought that was a beautiful storyline. I love what they did with that.
Now, last week, I planned on reviewing Wonder Woman #4 and never really got to it. Doc and I ended up reviewing Catwoman 60 for Worst of the Week. This week, we're going to go back to that and review Wonder Woman #4 for Worst of the Week. I thought it was so bad it warranted the extra inclusion and getting back to it, Doc.
I hated every...
Wow. So he named it Worst of the Week, and I named it Best of the Week. And I want to stress, when I say it's Best of the Week, it's of the 3 comics books I picked. So it was, that week, it was Creepshow #3, it was Wonder Woman #4, and then Fall of the House of X #1. And I picked this one for Best Book. Fall of the House of X was excellent as well. I don't want to diminish that one. Creepshow #3 was a little disappointing, but that's the deal with Creepshow stories. Creepshow stories, there will be some bangers, and if you watch a Creepshow movie, some of the stories are bangers, and some of them are just kind of, fun. And that was just a fun one, but it didn't throw me. But yeah, no, I loved Wonder Woman #4, and reading #3 and getting some of the backstory behind how they got here, I liked it even more. It was a great story. But anyways, let's see what his criticisms are. Why is this the worst comic book of the week?
Every single word bubble from every single person in this comic book.
Cool. Yeah, you hate everything about it. Okay. Like, did you like the art? Did you like the coloring? Like, what? I actually, like, as I'm reading more of these Wonder Woman comic books, I'm actually really appreciating the art. Like, they make Wonder Woman look beautiful, but, like, there's also, like, an epicness to it all. Like, it does a good job.
Why would Wonder Woman want to kill a Make-A-Wish kid, Doc? It just seems so weird. And there's so much emotional manipulation.
What? Okay, you can't just say she wants to kill a Make-A-Wish kid. Like, you have to, like, explain that before you can't just drop that on. Okay. Let's see if he actually explains it. He's just dropping it in there.
In this particular comic book. And none of it makes sense because of the things that Tom King has created beforehand, especially with Wonder Woman, other than he's pandering and he thinks, well, there's a kid with cancer. You can't say anything bad about that.
Yeah, I feel like this was Tom's attempt at trying some reader manipulation, but it was so cliche.
Okay, reader manipulation. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little spoiler. Writers attempt to manipulate their readers, at least in some degree. All of them do. That's just standard practice. Typically is to manipulate your emotions, to get you engaged with the characters and their thoughts. That's the goal. It's not like this, like arguing, oh, he's trying to manipulate the reader. Yeah, he is. You need to demonstrate how it's somehow a bad thing.
Shade, so overdone and so ineffective and obnoxious. And it was so telegraphed that it wasn't even the slightest bit effective.
I would say this is
Again, can we go over it and explain?
the worst thing Tom King has written since Heroes in Crisis. In my opinion, that's how bad I personally think this particular comic book is. Let's get into the details. We will start out with the art, but...
Thank you. Get into the details. You've done so much just setting this up. It's ridiculous.
We'll also talk about the very first page, which is a bunch of newsreels of people talking about this Delgado guy and his suicide and blaming it on the Amazons. And Daniel Sampere is a damn good artist. You can see that throughout
I agree. I absolutely agree.
the comic book. Even though there's not a lick of action in this particular issue, and you're just wasting him on this fucking opening page.
I mean, look, the art in it was beautiful. Nothing happened.
You're wasting... Well, the opening page is literally an exposition dump. And I think it's super effective. And upon reading issue 3 and learning more of the context, what I think is wonderful about this exposition dump is it gives the reader everything it needs to know, but doesn't give it any more. Like, there is so much more context to what they're saying here. But, like, they don't tell you. They don't tell you the extra bits. They don't tell you the bare minimum to get you through this issue. And if you want to know the rest, go to issue 3 and you get more. And I'm sure there's more in issue 2 and 1. I haven't read those yet. But yeah, I think this does an excellent job. And the idea is to kind of show that, like, Wonder Woman's image is being smeared. That's the whole point of it. Like every panel is a different newscaster. So they're telling you, like, everyone's reporting the same story, essentially.
And the closest thing to action was the barracks fight scene between Steve Trevor and random soldier number 43. But the first
Yes.
page of this comic book, going back to the story here, is just his way of skipping like 3 weeks of actual plot progression. But it was...
No, the plot progression actually already happened. This is a way to catch up the reader to the bare minimum they need to get through this issue of 3 issues of plot progression before this. And it's also the bare minimum. We aren't getting the full context here. We're just getting the basics here.
Just so poorly done.
Absolutely. And I'm tired of him wasting good artists like Daniel Sampere and Clay Mann on these stupid 9-panel grids because he thinks he's Alan Moore. Now let's get into the real story. There's 2 different stories going on here. We'll talk about the Wonder Woman first. And this was so weird because they've established getting into this. The American government is going around the country because they don't like Amazons anymore. And they are...
I would love to know how he's getting such high-res images from the artwork. Maybe he gets digital copies. I've been tempted to see if I can get digital copies so I can get better quality artwork on the screen. Because this is... Like, this really shows off the dude's artwork, Sampere's artwork. This is beautiful.
Killing children. They're killing mothers in front of their children. And Wonder Woman is firmly the most wanted person in the entire United States of America. They send in
Not yet at this point. The implication I have is that, like, yeah, she's becoming a fugitive while she's doing this, but she isn't a fugitive. She's still considered a hero by the public at large at this point. And you can easily pick that up by the fact that, like, there's a billion Wonder Woman posters in this wall. That's, yeah, the public at large still views her as a hero.
Entire brigade after her. So everyone is looking for this woman, and this kid is dying, and his last, like, dying wish is to meet Wonder Woman because he's the biggest Wonder Woman fan in the world. And she actually goes to his house. They've already established these guys will kill children. Why would you want to bring them to this kid's house?
Have they established that? I guess I don't know enough of the backstory, but, like, they will kill children. Well, I would just say, the kid is dying, and he just wants to meet Wonder Woman before he dies. And not to mention the fact that, like, what I've seen so far in this issue is that they haven't sent anyone after Wonder Woman that she can't easily take care of.
Created the stakes in this.
While I think that is a very good question, I'm really confused on how a suburban couple managed to find Wonder Woman and track her down to get her to come to their house when all of the three...
Well, they don't really go into that because I'm sure it's very boring, but I mean, I guess I'll just say social media is a wonderful thing. Because that was probably it, but yeah.
Three-letter federal agencies and the military can't manage to do it. Then she actually shows up. Maybe she's using the kid as a human shield.
That's kind of...
Oh my god. She's using the kid as a human shield. You are doing leaps for that one, buddy. No, the kid has a dying wish and he wishes to meet Wonder Woman before he dies. That's not a human shield, bro. Do you see troopers out there hunting down Wonder Woman? At this point, at least from what I've read, the issues I've read, yes, there are people after Wonder Woman. She has been able to handle them all quite easily. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some threat later she's not going to handle quite so well. But so far, everyone who's come after her, she's handled quite effortlessly. So there's no reason to think that she can't handle this. And plus, this kid's time on Earth right now is very limited. So it's kind of like she should probably... Like, he has to have a big hospital set up in his room. Just for survival. So, like, his time's limited, so she's going to go visit him before he dies. She's going to go do this for this kid. I think that's the risk that's worth taking. I don't know about you guys.
Kind of like the way it feels, and it's really weird the way that she interacts with the parents. She won't allow them to call her Diana. She won't introduce herself as Like, she almost demands they call her Wonder Woman, which felt very out of character to me.
If she was...
She did? Hold on. We have this book right here. My scan's not as good as theirs, but let's see. Yeah, so no, so the parents called her Miss Wonder Woman, and she was like, yeah, just Wonder Woman is fine, and that's it. That is what they're talking about, I guess. Miss Wonder Woman, or is it Miss Woman or something? Just Wonder Woman's fine. It's not like they're close friends, so, like, it's not like, hey, call me Diana anytime you need help or anything. It's just, yeah. Way to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Doing something like this, like a Make-A-Wish type situation, regardless of what her circumstances were, she would have been like, just call me Diana. It's fine. Tom King doesn't human well, and
maybe. I don't know. I guess maybe I could give you a little bit of credit on that, but I don't know. Like, she just met them, and they're awkwardly trying to call her Miss Woman or something. Does Wonder Woman have a secret identity in this universe? I actually don't know. She might have a secret identity in this universe, in which case I would explain exactly why she didn't. Let's look this up real fast. Okay, so, this is just a random post, but according to this post, Tom King has Wonder Woman using her secret identity so she can have downtime without fans or media or adversaries. So that is why she doesn't say, "Just call me Diana." These guys are acting like they've read it more than I have, so that seems like a pretty big miss on their part.
Tom King doesn't apparently allow Diana to human very well either.
And obviously, this is all.
I mean, the very fact that she's doing a secret identity in this universe explains why she doesn't just call her Diana. That is a 100% valid explanation.
Up to this moment, because the dad was very uncomfortable inviting her over to his house because of what's been in the news. But obviously, his kid's dying, so he has to invite her anyway. We get to this conversation, and it's so.
By the way, we are jumping so far ahead in this story. This is 10 pages ahead, and 10 pages in comic book time, the world can get destroyed in 10 pages comic book time. This is super far ahead in the story.
So poorly done. It's as subtle as a goddamn jackhammer is the best way I can describe it. Wonder Woman, I think there's something wrong with me. What is this? Do you need to go to the hospital? No, it's not. I had so much fun today, the best time. And
I want to state, he's complaining that it's subtle as a jackhammer. Lots of, when they do social messaging, this isn't even, as overt as it could be. It could just be, we'll let him get to their terrible explanation, then I'll debunk it then. But, throughout all of media, when they do social messaging, it's not generally speaking super subtle. Sometimes it is, but, not always. And it's sometimes, even when it's not super subtle, it's super good still. And I think this is a great example. But let's see what their take is, because, yeah.
And this was all I wanted. And I think I'm supposed to, I don't think this should be what I like. And she says, I'm glad you had fun. I wish I could give you more. You are a good boy. You deserve so much more. And he says, no, it's not that. It's my dad and other kids. I like this so much. And shouldn't I like Superman and Batman and, I don't know, baseball and normal stuff for boys? Why is this good? Is it because I'm sick inside? Oh my God, this is so emotionally manipulative. And here's the question, Doc. Is the dying kid really gay?
Writers like to emotionally manipulate you, and now they're hypothesizing the kid's gay. Maybe, we don't know. That's not established and it's not important.
Hey, is he really trans?
I think it's both.
Okay, so this is called coding. So, no. As far as anything written in this, no, this kid is not gay or trans or anything like this. This is a kid who thinks Wonder Woman is the best superhero ever, and he's made fun of because of that. Because other boys his age, they like Superman, they like Batman, they like baseball, they don't like Wonder Woman. Liking Wonder Woman is weird, so they make fun of him for that, and it's hard on him. Because, kid. Yes. That's it. Now, if you are a young child, maybe even his age, and you find that maybe you're gay, or maybe you're trans, you can identify very well with this scene. That is the point of this scene. To almost give people, it's coding. Now, is this character gay or trans or anything like that? No, absolutely not. But people who might fall into those categories can identify with this, which is why something like this is unbelievably nice. I think it's interesting how these guys, they understand that this is coding for that type of thing, but they're not understanding how the coding works.
I'm all of the things that are apparently currently popular and are a privileged identity status and society.
Okay, so this is them just throwing their own weird opinions into the book. The book hasn't said anything like that.
And
his dad's wrong. His dad's evil.
Yes, his dad.
So yeah, no. Apparently, I missed that before. So apparently, his dad thinks he should be with Superman, Batman, baseball. Maybe that's why he was awkward with Wonder Woman, because he was just oh, okay. But That's interesting. I it's been like a week or so since I've read this, but yeah, he does say that. That's sad. That's sad that his dad gives him grief for that.
Yeah, doesn't understand or wouldn't understand.
You know, it's not uncommon for parents to not fully understand their kids, especially if their kids are gay or trans, which is why this is coding.
You know, because Tom King is nothing if not like full on TV trope cliche, like lowest common denominator, the most blatant attempt at reader manipulation.
This is actually an unbelievably sweet scene. And the fact that you guys are so fucking heartless and can't just appreciate a sweet scene where Wonder Woman just tells this kid who feels outcast by society that that there is nothing wrong with him. And you guys can't appreciate the warmth of that. Says a lot more about you than Tom King.
And then, of course, the kid asks, is this why God made me sick?
Yes.
Blame it on God, too?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're counting on their fans not to actually read this. That's what they're depending on.
Because I mean, first of all, we have to challenge heteronormative masculinity. And
this book is not doing well, I guess it kind of is to a degree. You know what? No, I take it all. This book is not challenging heteronormative masculinity whatsoever. This book is simply saying it is possible to be normal, 100% normal, and have Wonder Woman be your favorite superhero if you're a boy. That's it. That's all this book is saying. The fact that you guys are so offended by this says more about you than anything in this book.
Then we have to challenge faith.
A kid liking Wonder Woman.
There is nothing in here challenging faith. Nothing. You guys are reading that into this 100%.
And not liking baseball or that Wonder Woman is his favorite character doesn't mean that he's gay. It doesn't mean that he's trans.
No, it doesn't. Maybe
he shot a fucking bow and
Thank you.
arrow in her face.
Yes.
Pretty masculine. But he was just used, I guess, to make you like Diana more, even though she wasn't acting like herself. She was way too stoic for having a dead kid right next to her. She's all about love.
Yeah, because she was showing him what it's like to be with Wonder Woman. For fuck's sake, guys. Like, you have to really be, like, doing loops to try to justify your dishonest, bad faith read of this book.
Love and caring, and that does not come through except for maybe a moment or two. But this stuff was so over the top. It was just eye rolling. It was that bad. And so that's the Wonder Woman part of the story. She's trying to get this little kid.
Okay, so there is that why God made me sick? Okay, I did not remember that. But again, this book isn't really blaming God. This book is essentially saying there's nothing wrong with not being normal. Nothing wrong with not being normal. That's it.
Or not survivor. Apparently it's terminal. This kid that's soon to be dead. She's trying to get him killed early just so she can make.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
A point, or Tom King can make a point about how great she is, even though it does not make a lick of sense within the scope of the story that he's actually telling. Because never mind that part. And then I guess the rest of the story, it's so boring. I can't believe. I mean, I can believe it because I've read a lot of Tom King books, but I can't believe this was like the plot of it. And the whole thing is just over narrated, just like the previous 3 issues. It's just the Sovereign talking to what we believe is Diana's daughter.
I know there was a bit, it was a little text heavy, but it's not terrible. I mean, it's hardly Chris Claremont by any means. This is, you can still get through this pretty quickly.
It's probably going to end up being that Emily's daughter or whatever because she's pregnant. And it's all about how the Sovereign is writing a speech or is QCing a speech that the president's supposed to give on Wonder Woman and whatever. And we can't use the words Wonder Woman. It implies that she's wonderful and all this stupid stuff. If you think...
Yeah, they'll go over stuff like that when they do speeches. They do. That's just a thing.
Writing a speech to give to the American nation would be a very exciting chain of events. This might be the comic book for you. And the worst part was in like the president gets down on one knee and kisses the sovereign's ring because the sovereign is the king of America.
I mean, I did find it funny when
Yeah, that's the implication. The implication is that the president serves this guy. This guy is a piece of shit too. I saw a lot of them. Like he gets this brief scene in number 4, and number 3 he has a major role in it. He is a piece of shit, but he definitely seems like he's just some sort of like rich, wealthy piece of shit asshole.
obvious stand-in for Joe Biden kneeled down and kissed his ring.
Everything about this is so cliche and over the top, and there are people claiming this is the greatest Wonder Woman run of all time. To you, I say, you're not reading Wonder Woman. None of the characterization makes any sense. None of this story even makes sense. That's the worst part, because normally Tom King comes out of the gate with a pretty good idea, executes it to a pretty decent level, and then disappoints you greatly once he decides to do what Tom King does.
You guys just really go out of your way to act like this story makes no sense when it makes plenty of sense. You don't even have to work that hard on it.
And this series, he's done it from the very beginning. And this Sovereign character, it's the same boring, cliche, over-the-top, rich white men, evil fucking character.
You know, I get so annoyed of how you guys and people like you, chuds, get offended at the rich white man villain character when, I hate to break it to you, a lot of the problems in our society are caused by rich white men who frankly don't give a shit about anything other than lining their pockets more. So, there's an honesty in rich white men being the main villains. There is.
I'm reading this issue because there's also there's a scene or two with Sergeant Steele and Waller. Of course, she has to be the most goddamn obtuse person in the fucking room. I feel like this whole Sovereign thing is just to set up Waller as the ultra big bad that's going to come in and show that, the King of America and the Sovereign is really not even that big of a deal because he reports to her.
Number one, well, Waller wasn't even in the other issue I read, so I doubt it. I think Waller's just there to have Waller in there because Waller's a noteworthy DC character. But you were just complaining that the rich white man is the main villain, and then you'd be complaining that, like, if he is actually reporting to Waller, wouldn't that nullify your complaint? Like, this is just such a weird take that's all over the place. Like, you're offended that the rich white man's in charge, and then you're also offended that, like, he's reporting to the powerful black woman. Like, pick a lane, buddy.
Well, that's already happening in Green Arrow and Beast World. Amanda Waller is so played out. But we do finally get the speech, but you get, like, all the responses to the president giving the speech, and it's the military are listening, and Themyscira is listening, and Sarge Steele is listening, and Steve Trevor's listening, and Cheetah's masturbating, and we got the Sovereign with the president's like thing in his eye because he's the one that controls him. They're going to war, Doc. I thought they were already at war, but now apparently they're going to declare war on the Amazons, who technically shouldn't be in America. They should be in Paradise Island. But they illegally immigrated in, so this is all, I guess, like a legal immigration allegory that he's trying really hard to, but doesn't really work. Yeah, because the Amazons are actually from literal paradise.
I guess they're going to declare war on an island that's really, really difficult to find. Good luck with that, I guess.
But they don't have weapons, right?
They need ships and arms. Do they want machine guns now? Like, I'm really confused. So what? You're going to have a bunch of Amazonians with fucking, like, ARs and RPGs now? I mean...
Well, it definitely seems like their primary focus is Wonder Woman, not the actual Amazons.
Granted, I wouldn't mind seeing some hot chicks driving down the beach in fucking tanks. But seems a little bit of a departure from the Amazonians. Why?
I mean, you're getting pissed at a potential war between the Amazons and humanity, which hasn't even been seen yet, because their main goal seems to be going after Wonder Woman, not the whole Amazons. But even if they did, like, that could still be a cool storyline if done well. And, like, you're getting pissed at a storyline that hasn't even happened, and we haven't seen how it's executed yet. So... you're getting pissed at, like, something that may happen in the future. Okay?
Why they need other arms, who the hell knows?
And the weird parts about this story is still no one's looking for Emily, the Amazon that killed 19 men that apparently led to like a world war or something. That make no sense. And then obviously the person that's created this war isn't the sovereign. It's not even the president of the United States. It's Diana. She's supposed to be there as a delegate from Themyscira. The queen of Themyscira has called her back. The president has expelled her, and she won't leave.
She's just going to be stubborn, continue to escalate this into full-blown military.
Because they're being manipulated by this old, rich, white fucking villain. Notice you see the president's reflection in the glasses. That's to indicate that while the president is giving the speech, this guy is the guy in charge. That's basic visual storytelling 101.
Conflict for reasons that they don't even seem terribly interested in explaining.
Nothing makes sense.
No.
I thought she didn't like war. I thought she didn't like people dying.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She's literally the cause of it right now. So that is Wonder Woman.
No, she is not the cause of it right now. The people who are after her are the cause of it. Like, is she responsible because assholes are after her and being, like, ridiculous and manipulating the situation and the things behind the scene to make her look like a villain? Is she responsible because some rich fucker is buying powerful people and using what I just saw, spoilers for upcoming live stream? He has like this silver lasso that he can use to manipulate people and get them to do things that like they wouldn't normally do. Like, is it her responsibility that there are bad people fucking around with her shit? Is it her responsibility that bad people kill other people to make her look bad? Is that her fault? That seems like such a huge, like, it's her fault for just fucking existing? Like, what the fuck take is that? That's insane. It, like, that's the take of, let's go to Spider-Man 2. Is it Spider-Man's fault that Dr. Octopus kills people to make his power generator? Would you put those deaths on Spider-Man, who is trying to stop him? Like, it's just such a weird fucking take, man.
Number 4, Doc. I've read every issue of this. I guess I'll keep pushing through.
Why?
Just calm.
I mean, if you've read issue 3, you know that guy's manipulating shit way more, and you're purposely holding it back, or just forgetting about it. Either way, you're reporting this story dishonestly, because even exclusively reading this storyline, I had a much, well, I guess my take on it would be, if this is your honest take, then my take on it was much more favorable, obviously, but like, there's a degree of dishonesty you have to be doing to just overlook so many story points here. So many. It's ridiculous.
Tom King is a blight in the comic book industry. I have to keep on top of what this guy is doing because people think that he's someone to look up to, but he's not. He's a terrible writer, and I cannot wait. Please let the DCU be super successful and him to get a full-time gig in the writer's room at Warner Brothers for the DCU, because I would love for him, nothing more than for him to not write DC Comics anymore. He could go back to Marvel. That would be even better.
I'd
be the main X-Men writer.
I'd be all in favor of him being him and Dan Slott to being the two leads that go out and do something great.
I do need to read some Dan Slott too, by the way.
For mankind and colonize the surface of the sun.
Yeah, so I, in good conscience, am not going to recommend Wonder Woman number 4. I think it's weird that she is actively trying to kill a Make-A-Wish kid.
That's not what actively killing somebody is. My God, you guys are outrageously dishonest.
Already going to die, but she needs it to happen sooner. And, yeah, it's just, this is bad writing. That's like...
Hey, she really needs a cancer-stricken human shield. Hey, she's...
Jesus Christ, these guys are dishonest.
Already making the Amazonians look really fucking bad. She's got to make the U.S. military look bad by making sure that, you know, they shoot a cancer kid on TV.
Yeah, so that's probably going to happen. And we have come to the end of the road of this edition or this comic book review. Now, there will be more of this review if you...
That's a review. Okay, that was outrageously dishonest. Just wow, like the bad faith reads that they had to go out of their way to do that video. That video was outrageous. It was disgusting. Yeah, thinking critical. Like, you're pretty much lying about comic books just for views at this point. That's the only conclusion I can come to looking at that video. You do not care about the actual, like, context. You're not interested in what is being said or what the intent is behind things. You're just interested in getting offended and posting that for clicks. That's your whole gig. That is so fucking lame.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.